Welcome to the latest installment of One-to-One on the Run. Customer engagement is a real buzzword these days, but in order for it to make a real impact, it's got to be properly defined and a strategy must be put in place with measurable goals. Martha Rogers, Ph.D., discusses meeting the engagement challenge with Luc Bondar, Vice President of Loyalty at Carlson Marketing.
Martha, let's talk a little bit about how the concept of engagement fits into your recent writing and thinking.
Well, it's my favorite subject, and I'm so happy to be here with you, John, and also with Luc Bondar. Great to be with both of you virtually today. When we talk about engagement, it's hot right now because it's the idea of traditional marketing we know doesn't cut it anymore. The whole idea of barking at customers just doesn't make any sense. The numbers that we all grew up on, impressions and awareness and even share of voice, recall, they don't always yield measurable value, and they've become softer and squishier as time has gone on. The customers also are really filtering what they're getting. They're better able than ever to keep out our messages. They co-create and participate on their own terms. And so we're really seeing that if we don't give them relevant and mutually valuable dialogue, then they're just not going to be there for us because we're not really being there for them. So we're really all about integrated, interactive marketing and really thinking about not just helping customers have a good experience, but really engaging those customers in ways that are meaningful to the customers. Don't you agree, Luc?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think one of the interesting challenges for marketers really is how to, in the context of the business which they work in, the brand they represent, the products and services they're putting out in the marketplace, is how to define what engagement means for them. You know, what is it? How do they achieve it? Once they've got it, how do they grow it? And certainly that's one of the things we're going to be spending some time talking about today, is ways to think about that engagement challenge and ways that can be quantified and measured in your own organization.
Right. So when we think about what the real problem is, I think that this slide here sort of tells the story. If you think about it, over the past 2 decades, 20 years have gone by. Sales in the U.S. auto industry are up 17%. But the advertising spend during that same 20-year period is up 1,378%. So all by itself, that sort of summarizes the problem that this poor industry is facing. But if you think about it, it also means that if you buy an American car, the first $4,000 you spend on that car has already been spent selling it to you. And so you don't get to buy any of the car until you spend the $4,001 dollar. Nissan, on the other hand, is one of the more forward-thinking kinds of companies. They've actually moved a lot of their budget into interactive media and gaming and mobile marketing and blogs and search. In other words, ways of speaking directly to customers and encouraging customers to speak to each other and taking advantage of that phenomenon. And now they only spend about $950 per car sold to sell you that car. So that's quite a difference when we start thinking about what customers would rather buy.
And I think when you look broadly at the marketplace and at the different ways that marketers talk to customers, they talk to consumers, there's this real sense of, and it really was the first point you talked to, Mother, there's this real sense that these traditional methods are just losing relevance. Because this is live meeting, we're not going to attempt to play a short video clip because we're going to have all sorts of different connection speeds going on and it just wouldn't work technically. But what you'll all see, what you'll all see on the screen here is a web address, and certainly I'd encourage everyone to follow up and get a copy of this deck after the presentation, and to paste this address into your URL address bar on your browser and play this short clip. This is a fantastic clip that basically plays out the relationship between an advertiser and a consumer, and it's beautifully done. It's very funny. And it's actually done by Microsoft. It's quite a clever piece. But I thoroughly recommend having a look at this because it really captures a lot of the marketing challenge that we're talking about that John outlined up front, and that is, really how do you actively engage customers? And as marketers, why is it that that's so important? Why are customers so important in our business?
And the upshot of this little story, this vignette, is that frankly what customers really want to do is break up with their advertisers, with the people who are selling them things, and the people who are selling them things sort of don't understand why. But maybe we could understand why if we answered this question, and that is this: where does all of our revenue come from? We love to ask that question sometimes of CEOs, because if you ask that of a CEO, the answer is from our great products. And then you can kind of have fun with that. You say, really, your products pay you money? I don't think so. And then they say, oh, yeah, it's from our great brands. And we say, well, wait a minute, brands don't pay us money, and neither do employees, and neither do our loyalty programs or any of our other marketing programs or anything else. It's really simple. All of the revenue that we ever will get comes from the customers we have now and the customers we're going to have tomorrow. We don't have any other way for a company to grow organically. And that means that it's really important to know and understand, as the basis for understanding the value of a business, what the actual value is of a customer, how much is she worth to me today based on what I already know about her, and then what's the potential value of this customer? How much could she be worth to me if only I were perfectly attuned to her needs? I understood her, I have good insights, and I'm able to be there with the exact next right offer. What's the potential value of this customer? And if I know both of those, then I should be able to understand today how much a customer is worth today, and also to understand today how much a customer is going to be worth tomorrow. And if I can do that, then I can hold somebody accountable for that. I can measure my own success, not just by share of voice or impressions or some of the more traditional things, but really how much my company is worth, in the sense that that's how much my customers are worth. So when we ask the question, gee, why do we need customer relationships, then it's not because they feel good or because they're the current cool thing, but basically because we expect to have value from customers today and tomorrow. So if your success only comes from transactions, then the fact is you don't need relationships. You might still need, great experiences, but you don't really need a relationship if all you care about is you sell something to somebody today and they pay you money. But if your success comes from repeat business from each customer, from those customers recommending you to their friends, from those customers intending to think about you in related kinds of problems they might have, then you do need relationships. Because where does all of our revenue come from? It comes from customers. All the customers we have now, the customers we will have tomorrow, and that's it. So whatever else we're doing, whatever business we're in, we're going to maximize the value of every customer in order to grow the business, and we'll maximize the value of each customer when we maximize the value of our company to each customer. So why do we need customer relationships? Let's be very clear about this. To help each customer show your company how to make money and grow. Now, that leads to what my co-author, Don Peppers, and our collective good friend, Don Peppers, what we call a learning relationship. And, Luke, you know all about this. The whole idea here is that if you're my customer and I can get you to talk to me, then I can remember something you tell me, that I know something about you that my competitors don't know. And that makes it possible for me to do something for you that my competitors don't know how to do.
Learn more about customer engagement and customer relationships at www.one-to-one-media.com.